Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to dive into Bitcoin, big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, I've gone through this with you before. This is the Bitcoin logarithmic growth chart, and you can see in each cycle we always hit the peak. Okay, this is why I was saying to you last year, if we was to get to the Fibonacci target, which I'm going to show you in a moment, we would have to break out of this. Okay, which obviously would be in uncharted waters. So right now it is my theory that we are in this lengthening cycle, and we have to be in a lengthening cycle in order to get to this logarithmic top here and the Fibonacci target. So again, what is the Fibonacci target? Okay, and one other thing, the reason I'm making a video on this today is because I said to people yesterday, this is a corrective phase of a bull market, okay, where a 70% drawdown, and a comment on there was you don't get 70% corrections in bull markets. Well, I'm going to show you exactly where that statement from that particular person is invalid, because just there, okay, this is your bull market top, and then you rolled into a bear market. This was the start of a new bull market, okay, up and down, you can see this up and down like this, okay, and then that's where you peaked, just there, okay, in that cycle from 2011 into 2013 right there, okay. So within that, just here, we actually had an 80% correction just there for Bitcoin. On that peak there, down to this low, was an 80% drawdown that happened over 3 or 4 months for Bitcoin. So to say that you don't have, over 70% corrections in a bull market is wrong, because, there's proof that you do. Equally, just here from 2019, when the bull market started, just there after this bear market, okay, you got your bull market top, which hit this peak here, and this peak, you rolled into this bear market, okay, that lasted for around about a year for Bitcoin. And from there, you actually, this was an 85% drawdown, this was an 85% drawdown, this was an 85% drawdown, which is a bear market drawdown basically. But within this bull market here, you had an 80% correction basically before the blow off top just there. Okay, do you understand? It wasn't necessarily a bear market, was it? It was a correction. So, just there, we've got this bear market. It landed on the bottom, job done. And then from here, this is your bull market. This is where the bull market started for Bitcoin, just like that's where the bull market started for Bitcoin, just like that's where the bull market started for Bitcoin. And you can see from bottom to bottom to bottom how it's getting further and further to get there, okay. So I do expect some kind of bottom is coming up here for Bitcoin eventually, okay, and the bottoms are taking longer to get to, as are the peaks. That's what I'm trying to convey to you. I've been conveying this for a very long time, and I'm backing it up with data, not hopium, not spiel, not bullshit. It's the charts, it's data. So you can see here, from this bull market start in 2018, we put in a whopping impulsive move, then a 70% correction. Then we continued with the bull market, and from here, we never got to the top of this band, okay. We could never get to the projected target of 200k, which is the Fibonacci target, because we would have been breaking out here and breaking at a key level resistance in this logarithmic growth chart here for Bitcoin, okay, which we've always got to. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So just there, we put in another 70% correction, okay. So we put in one 70% correction and another 70% correction, around about 72% correction so far for Bitcoin. So for me, you were doing exactly what you did here. You've come down, you've got this A, B, C correction, a regular correction. You've got an A, a B, a C zigzag correction in 2019 into 2020, and then you got the impulsive move. Right now you've been in a corrective move, and right now you're in another impulsive move, which you'll see you come up to here, and at that point you're going to enter that bear market, and you can see that low and that potential low, and then this low and then that potential low are getting longer between the cycles of the bottoms and equally the cycles of the tops, okay. So let me show you what I'm talking about right now for Bitcoin, and this is theory based. Obviously the only way that this will be sort of fruitful going forward is if we start to come up and break this high and come up to this logarithmic growth chart up here around about 200k plus, isn't it, which is a target I'm going to show you in a moment. But I'm just going to show you, sometimes it is good to look to the left, and the statement yesterday that you don't put in 70% corrections in bull markets is completely invalid, because here's proof that we have, and here's proof that we have so far, and then you've got the 80% correction just there in that previous whopping bull market, okay. So that's why I always say to you, if in doubt, zoom out, okay. Don't get sort of bogged down with today's price action. Zoom out and you can see the sort of trajectory that you're actually in. So anyway, there's zero guarantees, and obviously if you do start to come down here and roll like this, and you're in a multi-bear market from this point, and you're not necessarily going to ever go to this logarithmic growth chart again, and it's out the window. That's like I said to you, at the minute you're at critical support. If you do start to come down and you do start to lose these lows, then you can see how you can start to invalidate any kind of potential further upside for quite a long time, okay. And obviously all previous data is invalidated right here. So just if I drop a line on just there, that's that peak, okay, and then we drop a peak on here, that was your peak just there, and then we drop another peak just here, okay, and then we've got a projected peak which I think potentially is coming for Bitcoin. I'm going to show you. So from here, you can work out your peak target. So that's the bear market low to the bear market high. And you can see that Bitcoin always gets to the 2.272 fib, just above and below the 2414, where it meets the top of the band. Okay, so that was a target that was met in the previous bull just there. And then from this bear market low as well, we've got the projected here, the bear market low just there. And then we've got that bull market projection. And again, you can work out your projections just using Fibonacci, as I've taught you before. You can see that we got to the 2414 just there, and between the 2.272 as well, and we actually met the 2414 just there. Okay, fantastic. So in this particular bull run that we're going through right now, you've come down into the bear just there, and what you've done, you've come up so far, and I'll show you exactly where you ran into the 1618. You've had a double touch on the 1618, and right now you're coming back and you're holding the previous high, which is the 1 fib. Okay, you're coming back, you're holding it at the moment, you're sort of consolidating on there, looking for a leg up, aren't you? So if you can start to come up here, this is where you start to come up and attack this high here, get into the 2414 potentially, and the 2.272 around about 230k, so well over 230k. And you can see that if this logarithmic continues to go like this growth log chart here continues, you could see how you could start to come up like this and then attack and be up there by the, sort of the end of 2023 here. And you could say, okay, well, what we've got here, and I've gone through this with you before, is a lengthening cycle between peaks. So if I press Alt V on the keyboard just there, and then Alt V on that peak, and then Alt V on that peak, and then Alt V, and I've gone through this many times with you before. Okay, so I'm just showing you this because of the comment that someone wrote. I think we're around about the end of 2023 is what I'm looking at for the cycle peak. Okay, and you can see how this logarithmic growth, if this starts to come up here, then okay, you could see how Bitcoin starts to pump here off this corrective wave down and starts to come up. We could easily be up there. Okay, if we put in a whopping impulsive move up, we could easily be up there, meeting the crossroads by the end of next year. And then I would say to you, like I've said to you before, what you've got is lengthening cycles that are already written in the charts. There's no guesswork, because from this peak to this peak took 2 years. You can see just over 2 years. July 11 to December 13, 2 years. Then from this peak to the next bull market peak took 4 years. Okay, so this is why I've always said to you, I think that you blow off top, and you're top of this bull run. Okay, not necessarily this is a bear market, this is a corrective phase of bull market, just like you've gone through many corrections in bull markets before. Okay, but this one's a lot sort of more drastic because of the lengthening cycle that you're actually in right now. Then your peak would be next year, because you've got 2 years, 4 years, and then 6 years, and then after that, you're going to come down to this bear, and then your next peak is potentially 8 years. Do you understand? Because you're lengthening, your cycles are getting longer and longer and longer. So I know a lot of people sort of pay attention to the 4-year cycle as well, but this is just screaming that you're in lengthening cycles on the charts here. So that's basically Bitcoin. What we're looking to do is hold this low that we put in last month. Obviously, again, there's zero guarantees, and if we do start coming down, then all this kind of forecasting and data going forward will be invalidated. But I've always said to you that I think that this is your bull market start just there. This is your bull market, this is an impulsive wave, this corrective wave, this impulsive wave, this corrective wave, and I think you've got this big whopping impulsive wave missing, and that counts to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. And this is how the market moves in 5 waves. I taught you that. You've got a 1, you've got a 2, this is a 3, this is some kind of regular correction 4, and right now this is your 5th wave taking you up to there. And you can see how you've got 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and the peaks are increasing. Okay, and it really is as simple as that, until it isn't. Okay, and we're doing everything we need to so far for that forecast to come to fruition, because like I said to you, what goes up must come down. It works like an elastic band, pulls it back to support and releases it. So from this point here, we could actually be in for a fantastic year or so leading into next year, when everyone was really fearful, but Bitcoin was at historic buying the floor prices right there. But anyway, nothing's guaranteed. Okay, hope you enjoyed that little update. Stay off your session, stay tuned. Take care everyone, bye bye.